Hi, sixth graders. This is the topic 6, lesson 1, try it from example 1, all about percents. What we learned in this lesson is that the percent is something compared to 100. How many, if this whole thing was 100, how many of the parts would make 100%? Or how many of the parts out of 100%? So I think my favorite way to do this out of all the ways they showed us on the examples is to write it like a ratio, which is what we learned in the last topic. So Jane won 9 out of 10 video games that she played. So we're going to make another fraction and we're going to put 100 in the denominator. So what would you need to do to the 10 to get it to become 100? What would you need to multiply 10 by to get it to be 100? And the answer is you would multiply it by 10. So we're going to multiply this top number by the exact same thing. And 9 times 10 is 90. When you have 90 parts out of 100, that means you have 90%. Kind of already talked about the convince me part just then. So that's example 1. So since we're only a minute and a half into this video, let's do example 2 also. Which point represents 50% on the line segment? Here's 100%, so 50% would be here. 100% is 4 inches, so 50% is 2 inches. That one wasn't so bad. And then the final one for this lesson is from example 3. If that line segment CD represents 100%, the 100% is showing as 4 inches, then what is the length of the line segment that is 25%? This is another problem where there's lots and lots of ways to show this. 25%, half of it, 50%, would have been 2 inches. And so a quarter of it would be 25%, which would be 1 inch. So 25% would be 1 inch. If you wanted to set something like this up as a ratio, we could make 2 different fractions. We could make a fraction that is all about percent. So 100% is our whole, and the part we're looking for is 25%. And another fraction that's all about inches. 100 on the denominator, 100% is 4 inches. And so you probably wouldn't do it this way with this question because the question isn't difficult enough, but if it was if they had numbers that were harder to deal with, then you would want to use this method. So you can think, what would you do to 100 to get to 4? And the answer is you would divide it by 25. So you have to divide this by 25 also, and 25 divided by 25 is 1. So 1 inch would be your answer. Another way to look at it, you could go the opposite direction. What would you do to the 4 to get 100? And the answer is you would multiply by 25. So then you would think, okay, what number would I multiply by 25 to get 25? And the answer is still 1. So either way, the answer is 1 inch. Yo.